Hello, gems. Welcome to today's reading. Today's reading is going to be a reading for Samhain or Halloween. Samhain is an ancient Celtic festival that marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. It's a time when the boundary between the physical world and the spirit world become thinner, which allows us to communicate with those who have passed and seek wisdom from beyond. Today we celebrate Samhain as Halloween, a night filled with magic, mystery, and spiritual connection. So go ahead and choose the deck that most resonates with you. You can choose either by the deck or by the crystal that most draws your attention. Here we have a black mystery stone or darkwood tarot. For pile 2, we have an aura quartz or Buffy the Vampire tarot. For pile 3, we have jack-o'-lantern tarot or this piece of amber. For pile 4, we have Witchy Cat Tarot or this piece of chevron amethyst. Pile 5 is Tarot of the Witch's Garden or this green mystery stone. I don't remember what this is. And for pile 6, it looks like a black stone, but it's actually a really deep forest green moss agate. And this is Universal Monsters Tarot. You can hear my computer happily humming away, working hard. So go ahead and choose your tarot deck, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile 1. You have selected this mystery black stone or darkwood tarot. This reading is for you. That was Marley saying hi. I don't know if the camera picked that up. Let's go ahead and tap into your energy and see what the cards have to say to you today. What messages do you have for pile 1? I don't know if you can hear that or not, but my computer is super loud. I apologize if that picks up. Message does pile 1 need to hear today? Oh, those are not jumpers. It's just a little bit slippery. Okay, pile 1, let's begin. Card number 1, this is Witch's Brew. This is the energy that's brewing around you, magical forces that are in play right now. Here we have the Queen of Batons in the reverse. So that's like the Queen of Wands. So I could see some really bitchy energy around you. I could see energies of insecurity, energies of either you feeling like you don't want to, like situations, okay? Situations being created where it makes you uncomfortable putting yourself out there. Or I could see that as being around people who you're not really comfortable being around, kind of making you feel like a fish out of water. This next card is the Haunting. Ghosts from your past that are haunting your vibe. These are past experiences that linger. Here we have the King of Cups in the reverse. So I could see this as pertaining to your father. I could see this as a past relationship. I would see this as a person who is no longer in your life. Or I could see this as a long-standing situation where the person is still in your life, but they have detached themselves from you and they're no longer emotionally available. And it's still with you. But more than likely, I feel like this would be somebody who is no longer in your life. I'm very drawn to how it looks like a spirit is coming out of the cup. That could be representative of a memory, but it very well could be somebody who you've lost and you haven't fully grieved them. You haven't fully let them go. This is how to banish these ghosts, these memories, whatever it is that lingers. Here we have the Three of Cups. I could see this as needing to spend time with friends, family, people who support you, having fun. If it is somebody who has departed, I could see that as getting together with people who also loved this person, who also feel like there's been like a hole in their heart, and doing something together that honors that person. I could also see this as kind of just like the ritual of when you have a drink, just pouring some out for that person, making an offering. I know that these are rocks, but it kind of reminds me of like food and drink. Just leaving an offering out, or perhaps saying a few words regarding the person who is on your mind, letting them know that you're honoring them in some way. One final note would be as if you still have possessions from this person. I could also see this as the items around the fire being thrown into the fire and actually releasing that energy, releasing that attachment, and really letting that person go. I could see this as the ash, like the smoke coming up. So that is an option too. Card 4 is monsters and goblins. These are fears and negative habits that are ready to be laid to rest. Here we have the Two of Swords in the reverse. One thing I want to point out is you might be noticing, oh my gosh, all of my cards are coming up in the reverse. It's not a bad reading. It doesn't mean anything bad. It's just another way to interpret the cards. So what is this? Fears and negative habits that are ready to be laid to rest. I feel like there's situations that you would rather not address. You shove it under the rug, you sweep it under the rug, you choose not to look at it. And this card is saying, you know what, it's not really doing you any favors. It's time to take a new approach. Card 5 is the costume. Who do you want to be this next year? We have our first upright card. Here we have the 8 of Pentacles. I feel like you would like to be somebody who is a little bit more skilled at your craft, whatever that is, a little more successful in work. Perhaps it's a hobby. Maybe it's starting a new job. And if it's not a new job, I could also see this as like attaining some sort of recognition, you know? I'm really drawn to how these things on the tree, I don't know if they're, sometimes they look like sand dollars to me and sometimes they look like apples cut in half, but whatever they are, they kind of remind me of Christmas ornaments and they look like decorations. And I feel like they're achievements, you know, and she's putting them up on the tree. Like, yes, this is what I've accomplished through my hard work and dedication. The possession. What drives and inspires you? This is the driving force flowing through your veins. The 9 of batons. I see this as distrust. This is the reason why you lock your door at night. I feel like what drives you is feeling like there's somebody out to get you. Feeling like you need to, I don't normally get this feeling from the 9 of Wands, but in this deck I do. It's a feeling of needing to protect yourself, of needing to be safe, of keeping some threat, some danger at bay. Normally it's kind of like you've been fighting this battle, you know, and you're still standing. You're not defeated, you know, but there's still a fight to be fought. Here, I feel like it's more of just like defensive and keeping this danger at bay. Card 7 is the candy. How to get more sweetness out of life. Here we have the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Batons in the reverse. Okay, pile 1. So I could see this as one of two ways why this card is coming up in the reverse. I could see this as being a little less reckless, taking a little less risk. Okay, but with this card here, I'm thinking maybe you're not that much of a risk taker. Okay, so if that's the case, then I could see this as channeling your inner badass, channeling your Knight of Batons, finding your courage and taking a risk, having some fun. This is one of the most fun cards in the tarot. The Knight of Batons loves a good time. And I feel like you're not allowing yourself to have fun. You're not allowing yourself to have a good time because you think it's risky. This is the Conjuring, a message from your spirit guide. Okay, here we have the Page of Cups in the reverse. I feel like this card is saying trust. Not every surprise is a bad one. I feel like this card is asking you to forgive, to go back to your childhood and forgive. The protection. This is a message of protection to shield you from negativity as you move forward. This card being in the reverse, this is a message to protect you from your own negativity, okay? Here we have the Six of Swords. So in order to shield you from your own negativity, you've got to unpack this baggage that you have brought with you, that you have carried with you for so long. It is time to unpack and release, unpack and forgive and move forward. It's a heavy load. It's a heavy burden to just be carrying with you. It's a lot of stuff to just keep lugging about. I feel like this card is saying, you're not going to need this where you're going. And that this stuff is weighing you down. It's slowing your travels because it's weighing down your boat. This is a mysterious message from the spirit world offering insight and wisdom. You may or may not understand it just yet, but you will understand it further along on your journey. All Hallows Eve. Card 1. Call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night. Cast an unforgiven howl as you stomp your might through the ground. Let's go to the book and see what it has to say. Keywords are emotion and summoning. Samhain, Halloween, Feast of Apples, November's Eve, Hallowmans, Shadowfest. All Hallows Eve all mean different things to different cultures, but have the same intention, a day to honor those who have passed on as well as celebrating the passing of summer and the coming of winter. On this night, the veil between our world and the next is at its thinnest. Spirits are given a chance to pass over, to find their resting place, and loved ones who have passed can visit. We can take advantage of this magical time by harnessing the open energy from the spiritual realms. Communications with spirits and guides are more natural than any other night of the year. It's a beautiful time to deepen a psychic practice or start a new one, or to call on the help of the powers that be. Working magic on this night is likely to lead to success, even if you've never worked a spell before. If you have pulled All Hallows Eve, you are being called to summon your inner magic. The spiritual realm is smiling on you and is waiting to be made use of. Some additional ways to use this energy is to create a Samhain altar that stays throughout the year, or working with one of the correspondences of Samhain. Additionally, you might try working with more profound, darker energies, such as crone energy, or a dark goddess, such as Hecate or Morrigan. Calling on a deity regularly will help you develop the ability to summon a power at will. So I don't know if you have a practice for Halloween or Samhain. I feel like this card is asking you to cultivate your own sacred spiritual practice. There's something you need to say to one who has departed, a loved one, if there's something that you need to forgive them for, if there's something that you just want them to know, now would be the perfect time. These are parting words, final words of wisdom and advice your ancestors want you to hear before leaving this reading. Here we have preserve. This card says security, forethought, and thrift. These are really the kind of vibes that I was getting with this card. Let's go to card 31, and I just want to point out, if number 1 or 31 means anything to you, then take that and run with that. If not, those are just the card numbers. Okay, this card says, in green witchcraft, preserving a harvest allows you to keep it longer, instead of losing it to decay or waste. It's a thrifty measure that enables you to rely on the fruits of your labor for an extended period of time. Another form of preserving is to put aside a little of what you use every time you use it. This helps build a stockpile to guard against future need. This process is an ongoing low-level investment that doesn't take much time or energy. The Preserve card reminds you that small gestures accumulate over time. Keep an eye out for areas where you could be thrifty with your time and energy. This doesn't mean you have to deprive yourself now. Enjoy your harvest. Just don't use it all at once, simply because it's there. This card has a reflection which says, how can you work to store and secure what you have successfully produced? So I don't know if that's talking about money. I don't know if that's talking about food, but I did kind of get the vibe that you are somebody who's preparing for a rainy day. Okay. I don't feel like that's a bad thing, but I feel like not to allow yourself to get overwhelmed, not to let it consume you. What card was this? This was 4, 5, 6. This was what drives you, what inspires you, the driving force flowing through your veins. Okay, so I feel like it's just like take some time away from that, or find a way to make that fun. Don't make it be such a heavy burden. I don't know if you can even schedule that into your week or your month or your day. Just setting aside from this time to this time, I'm going to lighten up and have fun. Or with this one task, I think there's a way that I could make this a little bit more fun for myself, and if there are others around you, for them as well. So, pile 1, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile 2. If you have selected Buffy the Vampire Slayer Tarot or this Aura Quartz, this reading is for you. Okay, let's tap into your energy and see what your cards have to say to you today. This deck used to kind of feel funny to shuffle, but now I really like the way it shuffles. It's growing on me. What does pile 2 need to hear today? What messages do you have for pile 2? Oh! Okay, pile 2. Let's see. Scoot these up a little bit higher so we can make sure we have enough room. Okay, let's dive in. Pile 2. Card number 1 is Witch's Brew. This is the energy that is brewing around you, magical forces in play right now. The devil. I see some temptation. What are your vices, pile 2? What are your temptations? What are the things that keep you from feeling free? Keep you tied to this lower vibrational energy. It's not saying that you're a bad person. It's not saying that you're possessed or Satan's coming for you. It's just saying, what's holding you back? What is whispering in your ear that you give into, that you know you probably shouldn't? The haunting, ghosts from your past, haunting your vibe, past experiences that linger. The 3 of Stakes. Huh. Okay, pile 2. Past experiences that linger. You're ready to move forward. You're ready to go out and tackle the world. You see new opportunities, but there's just something that hangs onto you. Like there's literally, this really reminds me of the devil card, because normally in the Rider-Waite you have the devil and then there's these 2 people and there's chains. There's chains on each person, but it's not a chain that they can't easily escape from. They could easily just like slip it off their neck and leave should they choose to, but they don't choose to. At least not at first, right? But here I just see like this card is like magical forces in play right now. This is energy that's brewing around you and it's like coming out of the hands, you know. It's like, ooh, like what is tempting you? What is trying to pull you in? And then here it's like you're holding your chain. You haven't really gotten rid of it, but you're holding on to it. There's like something that like, it's like you're taking yourself for a walk. Like, have you seen those dogs? I'm going to go off on another tangent again. Those dogs on social media, and they take themselves for a walk. So they get put on a leash and they're holding the leash in their own mouth and they're taking them for a walk. I feel like that's how you are. You're taking yourself for a walk. Instead of going out and fully going after, setting yourself out there into the world, expanding, leveling up yourself, you're taking yourself for a walk. You still bring these addictions, these vices, whatever it is, these overindulgences. You don't want to let go of that. And it's because of a past experience. So is it like, you know, this happened to me and so now I overindulge in alcohol, or this happened to me so now I overindulge in this drug, or now I overindulge in food. It could even be things that are healthy. Okay, it could be like, oh, this happened to me and now I overindulge in exercise, or now I overindulge in work, or you know what I mean? It's just something that's an overindulgence. It's an addiction. Let go of that chain. Stop taking yourself for a walk. The banishing. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. How to banish those ghosts. The 10 of Scythes. This would be like, so this would, the Scythes are like swords and the stakes are like wands. Okay. So the 10 of Swords, I feel like you just got to stop. I feel like weaning yourself off of this, just lessening it, isn't really working for you because you have such a strong attachment. This is saying that's it. It's 10 of Scythes, 10 of Swords. That's like overkill. You've just really got to cut some cold turkey. Remove this from your life. At least until that pull is not so strong. I don't know, like if it's food, like if you overindulge at food, right? Like you obviously can't remove food from your life because then you won't be on this earthly plane anymore. If you overindulge in exercise, I don't advise never exercising again. So it's just going to be like, what is your overindulgence and how can you like, you need to find a healthy balance and you need to find it now. I feel like this person is reaching for it, you know, and then this person's like, no, she's driving the sword in. Or the Sith, yeah, it's a sword, you know, and who's going to be your no person? Who's going to be your support person? I feel like this is a support person. Who's going to be the person who's not going to worry about your feelings? They're not going to worry about you getting mad. They're not going to worry about offending you. I'm like, man, I really want to do this right now. And that person's just like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this instead. You need to find your no person. Card 4, monsters and goblins. Fears and negative habits that are ready to be laid to rest. 7 of chalices. This is like the 7 of cups in the reverse. I feel like this would be unrealistic expectations, unrealistic obsessions, unrealistic fantasies. I feel like this could be like daydreaming. This could be like obsessions. This is not something I've ever gotten. Okay, so please don't take offense. If this is not you, it may be another person in this collective reading. There's not really like a nice way to say it. So I feel like this would be, I don't even know how I could say this on YouTube without getting flagged. So this would be like looking at naughty things on the internet or TV. This would be very, I'm trying to not get flagged. Very taboo things on the internet. You know, it sounds like horn, but it doesn't start with an H. Those types of things. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that for sure, very strongly. Like my heart is even racing right now. This like is very, very exciting. And please know that I'm not judging. I'm not, you know, casting any judgment on that. I'm just honestly conveying what I see in the cards. That's what I do. Okay. And for others, that would be like unrealistic expectations, unrealistic fantasies. Okay. Card 5, the costume. Who do you want to be this next year? The 9 of Scythes. I feel like the person you want to be next year, it's a little bit scary. You know who you want to be. It's kept you up late at night. You've lost sleep over this, but it's a little bit intimidating. You're like, holy shit, how am I going to be this person? You know, like that's hard. Or there's like all these steps I have to do, or you're making your to-do lists about it. You're trying to plan it out. And then like, there's like that fear, like of like taking that first step, because then it's real, you know? So you're just kind of here playing this over and over in your head, and you're really stressing out about it. But you already know who you want to be. You're losing sleep over it. It's probably something that you talk about to some people. You may not talk about it to everybody, but you do talk about it a lot. It's on your mind. But you have not taken those first very important steps towards that goal. Or if you have, you've stopped at a certain point and you're refusing to take action on the next step. And it's a very important step. Card 6, the possession. What drives and inspires you? This is the driving force flowing through your veins. The 3 of Scythes. You are driven by hurt. You are driven by a broken heart. Your past experiences have made you the person that you are today. Card 7. How to get more sweetness out of life. This is the candy. 5 of Cups in the reverse. I feel like this is stop mulling over the past. Stop reliving it. Stop talking about it. Then this would be like these 3 of Swords moments, you know? 3 of Scythes. Like, yes, these cups spilled. You don't have that anymore. This was lost. This was taken from you. This thing happened. It's unfortunate. You've got to move on. These people are still waiting for their, what is that? Looks like water. They want their water. You know, you can't stay here anymore. Like these other people are here. They're here now. the cleanup crew will come and clean this up. You've got to keep going. And I feel like you are ready to come out of that. Focus on what you have. Focus on the good. When you find yourself starting to relive these past events, find something present that you have to be grateful for. The Conjuring. This is a message from your spirit guide. Here we have the Knight of Stakes in the reverse. So this would be like the Knight of Wands in the reverse. I feel like this card is saying, don't be afraid. Don't be scared. He looks like he's going in to make one of those haunted, like real life haunted videos, you know? He's gotta face his fears. He's gotta face his fear of the dark, his fear of the monsters, because he knows he's gonna be okay. Might be a little scary. There might be a monster lurking around the corner, but he's got his wand. He's got his camera. He's going to document what happens, and he's going to show the world, look what I overcame. Look at this monster I slayed. Yes, I was scared, but I faced my fear and I did it. I took action. This is the protection, a message of protection to shield you from negativity as you move forward. Here we have the Fool. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. I love this because the little dog is on the tombstone. I feel like this is listening to the little words of wisdom that are still with you from people who are no longer on this earthly plane. When you come across negativity in your day-to-day, when you're going about things and your intentions are pure, you're trying to make the right decision, you're trying to start something, you're trying to do something new, you come across this negativity. I love how he is, instead of a knapsack, he has this, I don't know what that is called. It might be called a mace or something. I don't know. You can use these words of wisdom to like take a more yin approach to things, a softer approach. You can use that mace if you need to. Sometimes you've got to bring your claws out. I feel like for some of you, this is a warning to not be so naive, to take your head out of la la land and realize your surroundings. Don't be a victim. And for others, I feel like it's taking that advice from someone who's no longer on this earthly plane, and they're telling you like it's not that big of a deal. You can walk away from this. I feel like I'm getting two distinct different messages from this card, and I feel like that makes a lot of sense because it is a collective reading, and sometimes you've got to evaluate your situation. A mysterious message. This is a message from the spirit world offering insight and wisdom. You may not fully understand it yet, but it will make sense further along your journey. Here we have apples. To taste one must swallow it whole, and beneath the satin flame hides drowning waters. Let's go to the book and see what that has to say. Keywords for this card are deception, mistrust, and rotten. We all know the story of Snow White, taking the apple from her stepmother, who masquerades as a sweet old crone. It's a wise old tale that's existed long before Disney ever made it into a movie, and a warning that things are not always as they seem. Sometimes our greatest enemy is hiding behind the mask of a savior. Death is infused into something meant to give us life, and someone pretending to be our friend is luring us into a trap. There are rotten people in the world who will take advantage of those who trust without pause. They come bearing gifts to gain your trust. Their faces are in all shapes, sizes, and colors. These people always get their due, one way or another. When an apple appears in your spread, it is a warning to pause before making any decisions about someone or a situation. You do not have all of the facts yet, and there could be danger for you now. Betrayal and deception are likely, so be vigilant. You must tread carefully until everything comes to light. Someone may be taking advantage of you or setting you up for failure. Now, I find that that's really interesting when the Devil card came up in the Witch's Brew position for what's brewing around you, magical forces in play right now. And I felt like that was like your temptations, your vices, your addictions, things that you give it to, overindulge in. And there may be somebody who is using that to their advantage. It doesn't have to be, but I definitely felt like that could be the case. And then over here with the Fool, and I very strongly felt like to be aware of your surroundings. Don't be so naive. You know, that was coming to me very strongly. Normally I get that when the Fool is in the reverse, but the imagery on the card, it just came through in the upright. So that's very interesting. So maybe that makes sense to you now. Maybe that doesn't. Maybe this will be further along your journey. Take heed. Not all gifts, you know, are gifts to be welcomed in. Like think about the Greeks, you know, and their Trojan horse, how they brought Troy down. So yeah, really pay attention. What is the intention behind this? It doesn't mean everybody who gives you a gift has ill intentions, but really pay attention. Parting words, final words of wisdom and advice your ancestors want you to hear before leaving this reading. Here we have seeds, new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness. I feel like this is also going to piggyback over here on this Fool card, but let's see what comes up on this card 36, seeds. I don't know if the number 36 means anything to you. If it does, take it and run. Same with number 4. If not, they're just the card numbers. It says a seed contains the blueprint for an entirely new plant, a future living thing. It is a miracle that something so small holds the key to new life. There is so much potential within a seed. In fact, planting a seed is an act of hope. It's the first step in a project or undertaking. Trusting that in the future you will actualize your dream. However, there's work ahead. If the seed sprouts, it will need care and attention to maximize its potential. You will need to nourish it to help it grow. I feel like that's really tying in with this card over here. Card 5, the costume. Who do you want to be this next year? And I felt like you know who you want to be. You have your seed, but it's like, oh, there's so much work to get this plant to grow. It says the seed card tells you that there is something worth your time that is waiting to be recognized. Be open to the messages nature has for you. Don't immediately dismiss ideas as far-fetched or impossible. Also tying in with this card over here, how to banish these, oh no, wait, that's the haunting. Ghosts from your past haunting your vibe, past experiences that linger. I felt like this, you know, was holding you back. You still had your chain, you know, you were taking yourself for a walk. Give them consideration. There must be something to learn. It has a reflection which says, when you are thinking about new ideas or new projects, what do you want to achieve? So I feel like that's saying, like, what's the feeling you want to experience by taking on this project? It's like if you want to, you know, renovate an area of your house or your apartment. Why? Why do you want to do it? Just for the sake of doing it? Or like, is there a feeling you want to experience? I want to experience more spaciousness in my living room, or I want my living room to be more organized, or I want, you know what I mean? Like there's a reason behind it. Oh, I'm painting because um sometimes, yeah, like okay, it just needs to be updated and refreshed, but like maybe you're changing the color. Why? What is that color inspire in you? What does it make you feel? That goes for anything. What is the feeling you would like to experience with this new project at the completion of this task? Are you setting an intention at the beginning of your projects, at the beginning of your chores, of your day-to-day, your dealings with people? So, pile 2, this concludes your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, pile 3, if you have selected Jack-o'-lantern Tarot or this amber stone, this reading is for you. Okay, let's see what your cards have to say today. Go ahead and be tapping into your energy. What messages does pile 3 need to hear today? Okay, let's see. Oh, let me just scoot this over just a tad. All right, pile 3. Card number 1 is Witch's Brew. What's brewing around you? What magical forces are in play right now? Here we have the Ace of Wands. I would see this as you have the power and the ability to manifest. So what is it that you would like to create? What do you want to bring into the physical realm? Card 2, this is the Haunting. Ghosts from your past, which are haunting your vibe. These are past experiences that linger. King of Pentacles. I could see this as a husband. I could see this as a boss. I could also see this as a father figure. So be a very structured, at times domineering, but doing things out of love, doing things with the best intentions, whether those things came across in the right way or were received well is another story, but I do see this person as acting from a place of a solid foundation. But I can see this person as being very stubborn. I'm really drawn to the owl, and to, I think that's like, I don't know what it is. It's like a bird of prey. This big black bird over here. So I would see this as like having a lot of wisdom, having a lot of foresight with what they're doing. But with this big black bird of prey there, not really caring about like the delivery of it. Like it's just like so stuck in the ways. I'm really drawn to the cow, like a lot of Taurus energy, you know, and it's just like very, very willful, very willful. The banishing, how to banish those ghosts. Here we have the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Oh my gosh, I'm so drawn to how this rope is just tied and wrapped around this pumpkin's head. And I'm wondering if you feel like you are not able to speak. I'm really drawn to the sun's over here by his shoes. It's like you want to go after your joy, you want to go after your peace, what makes you happy, but you're not able to really communicate that. You feel bound, like you're living up to somebody else's expectations. Okay, so how to banish that? I feel like you have to untie this cord, this rope from this pumpkin. Or are you able to say to this person, you know what? This really hurt me when you did this. I'm really drawn to the mouth, like being talked to. So I'm kind of feeling like this is more than likely more of a fatherly energy. For some of you, very well, maybe the other, like pertaining to work or whatever. But I feel like for the most part, it's going to be a fatherly energy. I feel like it's to be talking about things that you've seen. The eyes are open. You have to talk about things. For some of you, that very well may be a therapist. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I feel like that could just be having an open conversation. I see a lot of memories. I see a lot of memories in this card. They're just like floating through, and it keeps bringing you back to the past. You're over here looking in this past direction and at this person. I feel like this person's also kind of looking to the past too. Like you're both looking at the past. Monsters and goblins. These are fears and negative habits that are ready to be laid to rest. King of Wands. Okay, so right off the bat, I could see the King of Wands having a big ego. Okay, so I don't know if ego is an issue, if pride and power are an issue. I could definitely see that being a thing. I could see this coming up like negative habits surrounding your sexuality. I could see this as fears about creating the life that you'd like, fears about manifesting, like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that, little old me, pile 3 person. That's for somebody who's more experienced. That's for somebody who's better at it than I am. I could see that, like fear and insecurity, really being afraid of putting yourself out there. Or if you are not afraid of putting yourself out there, I could see that as putting yourself out there in a way that maybe is not the best way. Maybe there's a better way to put yourself out there. The costume. Who do you want to be this next year? 10 of Pentacles. I see this as happy home life. I see this as financial comfort, financial success, being successful in business. I see this as a legacy card. Really working on your future. Really, if you have a family, really working on the financial stability of your family. This skull right here is cracking me up, how it has the pentacles and the eyeballs, and it's like you've got your eyes on the prize, you've got your eyes on the financial goal. Really goal driven. The Possession. What drives and inspires you? What is the driving force flowing through your veins? The Star. I could see this as resentment. I could see this as past hurts that you won't let heal because this drives you. They fire you up, they piss you off, they make you angry. Instead of letting wounds heal, you just want to keep ripping that scab off, ripping the band-aid off to take a look at it. You're like, oh, let me check it out. And like this thing is festering. Instead of, taking an antibiotic, like I do French green clay, throw clay on it and that draws all the stuff out. Like instead of packing it with clay, keep messing with it, not taking care of it, not cleaning it, just leaving it to fester. And instead of these healing waters flowing, I could see this as just like pouring it. Like I feel like this is salt. You're just throwing salt on your wounds and you're hurting yourself over and over and over again by reliving these past experiences. Why are you allowing this to be your driving force, pile 3? Is there nothing else that can fuel you? The candy. How to get more sweetness out of life. 4 of Wands. Like this is really being present in the now, spending time with people you love. To me, this is a family card. It's a home card. And I feel like this would be not so much extended family, but this would be like more immediate family. Really celebrating the everydays, you know, birthdays, the hellos, the good nights, the good mornings, celebrating the little wins, you know, finding pleasure in every day. The Conjuring. This is a message from your spirit guide. The Magician. This card says you have the power, you have the tools, you have everything available that you need to create the life you desire. You have everything at your disposal to counter anything that is thrown your way. You don't need to use these tools to manipulate others. You don't need to use them to hurt people. You can use them to better your life. And you don't need to use them to hurt yourself. Card 9, the Protection. This is a message of protection to shield you from negativity as you move forward. This card is in the reverse. This is a message, okay, to protect you from your own negativity. Here we have the Devil in the reverse. So your message of protection is one, to protect you from hurting yourself. Again, I feel like this is giving in to your own urges, your own drives, things that are keeping you from your highest potential. These could be addictions. These could be your own vices. But they're holding you back. See how instead of using the fire, okay, like here she's using the fire and she's using it to melt this chain. With your card being in the reverse, you're just allowing that chain to stay there. Or maybe you're directing the fire at the ones you love or yourself, but you're not directing the energy where it needs to be to break this chain. You're allowing yourself to be bound. I feel like you're bound to this hurt, whatever that is. Whatever it is, that driving force that you just don't want to get rid of because you feel like it motivates you or you feel like it helps you in some way. Or perhaps you don't know who you'd be without it. You strongly identify with that. A mysterious message, a message from the spirit world, offering insight and wisdom. You may not yet understand this card, but you will further along your journey. Here we have Dark Moon. In the dark of your heart lives a new breath, waiting for you to release its ghost. I'm going to go to the book and see what that has to say about Dark Moon, card 13. The number 13 means anything to you, then that may be another message in itself. Keywords for this card are new beginnings and letting go. It says, in the mystical world, the dark moon is a time of setting intentions and welcoming new beginnings. It is the beginning of the moon cycle and represents a chance to start afresh with new and renewed energy. The dark moon is like the last stretch of darkness before the rise of the dawn, or in this case, the moon. It represents hope, better days to come, and an easier road to travel. This period supports visualizing and is a great time to expand your mind. Use this time to dream without thinking about the limitations of life. What do you want to create in your life? What goals do you want to manifest? Think big. The bigger, the better. Think as if you had a magic wand that would grant you every wish, no matter the cost or energy required. If you are holding the Dark Moon card, know that there is always a chance to start again. Your situation may seem like the end of the road, but it is not, especially for those who know the power of spirit. You must have hope even when things seem too hard to hear. There's always a new moon just a few weeks away, and there will always be a new opportunity waiting for you as well. It may not come as quickly as you like, but hope is a powerful force and will set things in motion for you. One thing I want to point out is that this star card in the reverse is like a loss of hope. And when this card is in the upright, there is hope. There is healing. It's like a renewal of spirit. These are parting words, final words of wisdom and advice your ancestors want you to hear before leaving this reading. This card is rain, cleansing, purification, and hydration. I just very strongly, when I read this word hydration, I saw an image of a muscle spindle, and I was really drawn to fascia for some reason. So yeah, I'm just letting you know. I don't know if that means anything to you. If it does, great. Card meaning: water is one of the essentials of life and one of the 4 classical elements that we use in magical work. Rain hydrates soil and plants. It can be a gentle sprinkling to moisten your garden, or a heavy deluge to wash away previously stable land. The rain card tells you that something in your life needs cleansing or purification. It may be a light cleansing, or it may be a full-on reshaping of your situation. There may be a part of your life that is parched and needs the rejuvenation. Meditate on the warning that this card brings and use the energy of water to purify the imbalance. Let the rain wash away what overwhelms you. It has a reflection which says, is there a part of your life that is eroding due to an unceasing flow of unstable energy? Oh my gosh, I really feel like that is connected over here to this star card. I feel like instead of allowing this to be those cleansing waters, I just felt like it was salt, you know? So I don't know if there is any type of water ritual that you might need to do, any sort of connecting with water, purification. I don't know if muscle spindle or fascia means anything to you, but I strongly suggest that you drink more water. I'm wondering what your salt intake is. This may or may not be related. I don't know, but this reminded me of white table salt, like the iodized table salt. And I just feel really drawn to talk about how table salt has all of the minerals removed and they add in iodine, iodized table salt. Sea salt has on average about 18 minerals, okay? And then you have your Himalayan pink salt, which has about 84 minerals in it. So I don't know if like remineralization means anything to you, or if you need some sort of like multiple mineral, but I was really drawn to this card thinking fascia, and over here I was already thinking salt. So I'm thinking maybe that has something to do with your reading. I'm not too sure. But I also think it's really interesting that Halloween this year, 2024, falls on a dark moon. So this is the dark moon card, and then this is number 13, transpose 31. So I don't know, maybe this card, if you're watching this video on Halloween, it may have something to do with that. I'm going back to this card 13. There was something I wanted to look at. Waiting for you to release its ghost. Yes. Okay. So, and then card 3 was how to banish these ghosts. The ghost. Yeah. So I feel like this ghost is something that really is asking you to be released. Do you have the mind of a child? Do you have a learner's mind? Are you eager to learn? Do you ask questions? Do you keep your eyes open? Or are you constantly talking? So much that you can't absorb anything. Are you an I know person? Do you act as a child? Like, I want this. I want that. I don't know. I feel like your attention, your focus needs to be on speaking about something you've seen, reconnecting with what truly sparks joy. Like, are you moving towards it? Like the feet, you know, the legs. Are you moving towards what actually brings you peace? What actually brings you comfort? Or are you just moving towards things? Are they distracting? And oh my gosh, I just noticed this. This looks like a lion right here. It looks like the lion's mane. And this little breastplate thing also looks like a lion's mane, and its face has the belt on it. You don't speak about something that you're supposed to, or that you should have spoken up about, or that you wanted to speak about. I'm drawn to this feather. Normally it reminds me of a feather of inspiration, a spark, like a driving force, you know, something that like a passionate idea that this person is really drawn to. But in this card, it reminds me of, what is that thing called? Like in New Orleans, I'm having a brain fart, carnival. It reminds me of a carnival mask. So I wonder, do you feel like you wear a mask? Do you feel like you have to hide who you are? So pile 3, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, pile 4. If you have selected the Chevron Amethyst or Witchy Cat Tarot, this reading is for you. Okay, we are just going to be tapping into your energy. What does pile 4 need to hear? What messages do you have for pile 4 today? I think that was an obligatory tripod bump. I was thinking, no way, am I actually going to get through this entire collective reading without a tripod bump? No. Okay, what do we have for pile 4? All right, let's begin. Witch's brew. What's brewing around you? This is magical forces that are in play right now. Here we have the Hermit in the reverse. Like there is something, like you may have been spending some time alone, kind of, I'm not saying a recluse, but I'm saying like being a little reclusive, a little withdrawn, perhaps like some major Virgo energy going on there, you know, wanting to learn about things. I really love how she's using the light and she's peering through this keyhole, you know. So with this card being in the reverse, I feel like, okay, now it's time to go out. It's time to go back out into the public. It's time to go back out into the world and share your knowledge, share your insights. It's time to put yourself out there. The haunting. Ghosts from your past haunting your vibe. Past experiences that linger. The 9 of Pentacles. I feel like this is something from your past that involves money, that involves affluence, a feeling of being very comfortable, a feeling of not only feeling like you've made it, but like, yes, I've arrived. How to banish these ghosts, because I feel like this is creeping into more of your day than it needs to. I feel like these are like would have been memories from the past. A life that once was and no longer is, okay? How to banish these ghosts. Page of Wands in the reverse. When I see this card in the reverse, the Page of Wands in reverse, it kind of reminds me of a child throwing a temper tantrum. And this is how to banish these ghosts. So I don't know if you have been keeping this to yourself, trying to keep it together, but like you might need to have a momentary freak out. I don't know if rage room is an option for you. I don't know if breaking something is an option for you, throwing something, yelling, screaming, punching your bed, punching your pillow, punching a punching bag, joining a martial arts class and like actually being able to hit something. But I feel like this is like throwing your fit, yell, scream in the shower, clear your throat chakra. You don't need to keep it all together. In order to banish this ghost, you're going to have to let it out and let it out. Like if you want to throw yourself on the floor and throw like a full-on tantrum, probably suggest you do that when you're home alone. But this card is saying have your freak out, throw a tantrum, and then move past it, okay? Monsters and goblins. These are fears and negative habits that are ready to be laid to rest. 9 of Wands in the reverse. Oh. So this cat has lost an eye. It's put up all of these defenses. In the upright, this cat is very defensive. This is not a cat you want to mess with. This cat will take your eye. Okay, look at these little vampire fangs there. Like this cat is no joke, okay? But in the reverse, this cat trusts people. It's like learning like, okay, you know what? Like I can trust people. So your fear and negative habits that are ready to be laid to rest, I feel like it's a fear of trusting people, a fear of letting people in. I'm not saying to trust everybody because that would just be something very foolish and I would not ever advise that. But I feel like it's saying like, you know what, like, yes, you still have your defensive, you still have your wits about you. Nobody can take that away. What you've gone through it's given you street smarts, okay? shown you the way that things can be, that the way that people can be. But it's okay to trust some people. You don't have to go about this all on your own. I feel like it's saying it's okay to let people in with, with caution. You still vet them. Okay, you don't bring them into your inner circle like, oh yeah, I've known you for 2 weeks. Let me bring you into my most intimate circle and tell you everything about me and just give you the keys to my kingdom. No, but it is okay to learn to trust people again. The costume. Who do you want to be this next year? The Eight of Wands and the reverse. Eight of Wands is all about moving, going places fast. I feel like you want to be a lot more stable this next year. Maybe you're tired of moving. Maybe you're tired of throwing yourself out there and just like seeing where you land. I feel like you want to land on your feet and you just want to stay there on your four paws for a while. You don't want to be like this person. I feel like she's falling, Cats always land on their feet. So she wants to land on her feet and stay. She doesn't want to go. She doesn't have to rush. Oh, I wonder if that's it. Like, are you on time? You want to be on time, not be late. But I feel like there's like not like a lot of rushing. It's like going slow, taking it easy, and like more stable. The possession. What drives and inspires you? This is the driving force flowing through your veins. Knight of Wands. Okay. The Knight of Wands, moves really fast. The Knight of Wands thrives for fun, excitement, adventure. He loves the chase. Knight of Wands has a lot of sexual prowess. There's a lot of sexual energy here. He's sexy. He's fun. He's charismatic. And he's a badass knight. He's a warrior, He's very brave. I see you as an adventurer. Don't see you as having a lot of fear except for when it comes to trusting others. Maybe you've had to do things on your own for so long that you're like, you know what? Like, I'd rather just do it myself because then I know I'm not going to let myself down. Candy. How to get more sweetness out of life. The Knight of Cups. Oh my goodness. The Knight of Cups is a romantic. He is our Romeo. I'm wondering if you're in a relationship. Okay. I'm wondering if you're looking for a healthy relationship. I see a lot of emotion here, and it's not just like flowing in one straight, predictable line. This card can also be a messenger. So I don't know if you need to reach out to somebody, if you need to talk to somebody, have a heart-to-heart conversation, or finding that special someone that would bring some sweetness to your life. The Conjuring. This is a message from your spirit guide. Here we have the Lovers in the reverse. So it's really interesting that this card comes right after this one, and I was thinking that this is finding that special someone. I feel like this card is saying you may not be ready for a relationship just yet. You may have some healing to do. How can you be in a meaningful relationship if you trust nobody? Okay, if you're still holding all of this in, that's going to definitely come out in a relationship. Okay, money issues, yeah, that's like going to be like way to the top of the charts for reasons why people end relationships. Okay, so I feel like this is really figuring out like decisions. The Lovers card is also a card about decisions, choices, balancing the yin and the yang energies. This could even be healing from a past breakup. You know, maybe that's why you don't trust people. Did it result in a financial loss? I don't know. For some of you, perhaps that's the case. And if it is, then you've got to heal from that before you move into another relationship, because this one can't fix your broken heart. Only you can fix your broken heart. Okay? The protection. A message of protection to shield you from negativity as you move forward. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay. I feel like this card is saying, you know what? Sometimes things go right and sometimes things go wrong. When you're up, you're up. To shield you from negativity. So like when you come across negative situations, negative people, what can you take away from that, like from a luck perspective? Like, wow, so lucky I'm not in that person's shoes, or wow, I'm glad I don't have to go home with that person at the end of the day. Think about how lucky you are, how good you have it when you come across these negative people. This is a mysterious message, a message from the spirit world offering insight and wisdom. You may not understand this yet, but if you don't understand it now, you will understand it further along in your journey. Apples. To taste one, must swallow it whole, and beneath the satin flame hides drowning waters. Keywords for this card are deception, mistrust, and rotten. I can definitely see this card coming up, tying in with this nine of wands cards. It actually looks very similar. She's got her arms wrapped around the apples. He's got his tail wrapped around the wand. You know, there's all of these wands behind him, and there's all of these birch trees behind her. Very similar vibe in those cards. We all know the story of Snow White taking the apple from her stepmother, who masquerades as a sweet old crone. It's a wise old tale that's existed long before Disney ever made it into a movie, and a warning that things are not always as they seem. Sometimes our greatest enemy is hiding behind the mask of a savior. Death is infused into something meant to give us life, and someone pretending to be our friend is luring us into a trap. There are rotten people in the world who will take advantage of those who trust without pause. They come bearing gifts to gain your trust. Their faces are in all shapes, size, and colors. These people always get their due, one way or another. When an apple appears in your spread, it is a warning to pause before making any decisions about someone or a situation. So that's a pause, taking it in, really evaluating where this person's coming from, what are their motives, what are their possible intentions, and then making a decision. It doesn't mean that they're automatically bad, but it's just like, hey, slow down. Let's figure this out. You do not have all the facts yet, and there could be danger for you now. Betrayal and deception are likely, so be vigilant. You must tread carefully until everything comes to light. Parting words, final words of wisdom and advice your ancestors want you to hear before leaving this reading. So, card 49, planning, setting intentions, and optimism. Seeds may be the nebulous concept, and soil the fertile ground to nourish them. But the act of sowing is what unites the two and initializes the process of germination. When you sow seeds, you scatter them in or on the earth, asking the soil to help them grow. For a time, the seeds have to remain quiet underground before they can launch into the world. This dormancy allows them the opportunity to gather their strength. The Sow card tells you that now is the optimal time to set things in motion. Plant your seeds and nurture them. Lock in your intentions and take the first steps along the path you've planned. Act now for future yield. Prime your material and environment for the best outcome. If you've been hesitating, now is the time to act. The reflection for this card is, are you ready to start something new? So pile 4, what have you been hesitating? What have you been hesitating on? What have you been peering through the keyhole, looking at, contemplating? Like, oh, am I ready to go out that door? I just don't know. Am I ready to bust through this door? The So card would say yes. So pile 4, this does conclude your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Hello, pile 5. If you have selected Tarot of the Witch's Garden or this green stone, this reading is for you. Okay, let's tap into your energy and see what the cards have to say to you today. What does pile 5 need to hear today? What messages do you have for pile 5? Okay, pile 5, let's begin. Witch's Brew. What's brewing around you? These are magical forces that are in play right now. 5 of Pentacles. Okay, pile 5. I could see this as a time when you need to protect yourself from things that are outside in the physical realms, okay? I could see that there would be energies in play that are around you that might make it harder than you'd like it to be financially, physically. And I do believe that you can find refuge if you do energetic protection. It's also if you reconnect with your spirituality. I would see this as a time to be practical, not being wasteful. You're spending, and I would also see this as a time to take extra caution around your health. The haunting. Ghosts from your past that are haunting your vibe. These are past experiences that linger. King of Swords in the reverse. I could see this as college professor. I could see this as lawyerly doctor type of energy, something that did not go in your favor. You getting the shorter end of the stick. I could see this as pertaining to higher education. I could see this as pertaining to areas of the law, things of that nature. The banishing. How to banish these ghosts. Page of Cups. I feel like this is finding joy, finding happiness, surprises in the everyday, finding magic in everything. I could see this as reconnecting to things that make you have fun, things that bring you joy and happiness, things that make you smile. I could see this as reaching out to an old friend, someone who you can talk to on the phone and just comfortably talk to and laugh, or it's like it's not a forced exchange of energy. Okay, it's very natural. That may be somebody your own age, and for others, like it might even be spending time with someone who's a lot younger than you, or someone who has the heart of a child. Monsters and goblins. Fears and negative habits that are ready to be laid to rest. Two of Wands in the reverse. This would be a fear or a negative habit of not being able to look past your current situation, or being afraid to expand or afraid to grow. This is not looking at what's available to you. The costume. Who do you want to be this next year? The Tower in the reverse. Disaster averted. Somebody who doesn't have all of the shit that keeps happening to you. You want it to happen to somebody else, or maybe you don't want it to happen to somebody else. You just don't want it to happen to you. I'm really drawn to this, like this sheet right here. You know, to me, it reminds me of a safety net. And you're just wondering, like, where the hell's my safety net? You know, all of this shit that went wrong this year, or maybe it's like these last few years or whatever. You know, where's my safety net? How come other people have somebody there to catch them and support them? And where are my people? Where's my support team? Where's my where's my relief, you know? You want to be somebody who doesn't need that safety net. Just so tired of all this shit happening to you. I'm really drawn to how this card is just to the left and below this card here. So if this is the energy that's brewing around you, you know, and I felt like this could be financial hardship. I felt like this might have something to do with health. You know what I mean? I felt like this might have something to do with like real world stuff. Are there steps that you could take now, precautions you could take now to kind of start laying your own safety net to kind of possibly avert some of this potential stuff from turning into a tower moment? The possession. What drives and inspires you? This is the driving force flowing through your veins. The Ace of Swords. I feel like this is very negative. It's no. This is a strong no card for me. I feel like as soon as you start to notice good things happening in your life, are you the one that's self-sabotaging it? Just cutting it out of your own garden, like, oh, that's not even going to grow here, so we might as well just get rid of this. Why is that flowing through your veins? Why don't you give these flowers a chance? Why don't you entertain these thoughts, these ideas? It's like, oh, blue sky? Nope. Here come the dark clouds, you know? And then you start harping on the negative stuff. You don't even like entertain the good stuff. You're like, oh, we don't have time for that because we've got to talk about or think about, ruminate all of these bad things. My candle just went out. I'm gonna light another one. Oh my gosh, the timing of that candle. It just went out when I was talking about like the good things, you know, and it's like, oops, dropping my one of my lighters. Yeah, it's like that light, you know, like the blue skies, sunny days, and you just like come in like this dark storm cloud and you snuff out your own light. Just like the candle. Card 7, the candy, how to get more sweetness out of life. The moon in the reverse. Stop fooling yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop letting other people influence you. I'm really drawn to these little lobster dudes right here. Like there's so much emotion. So much fear. I feel like letting go of that instead of holding on to. Here, I feel like she's drawing down the moon. She's worshiping the moon. She's gazing at it with awe and with like wonder, you know, like figuring out like, oh my gosh, like what's real, what's not real. But this way, like she's letting go. She's letting go. She's letting go of lies. She's letting go of illusions, disillusions. You know, she's letting go of insecurities, of doubt. She's letting go of lying to herself. Letting all of that go. Just like dropping it. Like, nope, I'm not going to hold on to that. I don't need to hold on to that anymore. I feel like this, like the moon, I feel like it would be memory. Remember when things were easier. Instead of remembering when I lost it, you know, remember when things were easier. Remember when things were fun. Remember when things were happy. And then just as you go about your there's like a little tiny path. It's hard to see because it's dark, it's in the moonlight, but when you remember what it looked like what did it feel like to be happy? What did it feel like to be at peace? What did it feel like to not be confused? And then when you grasp onto those feelings, it's easier to recognize them in your today, you know, like, oh yeah, look, you know, there's that feeling I used to have a long time ago. There's that feeling, or you start noticing it other people, and then maybe you surround yourself with people who help to show you the way. Card 8, this is the Conjuring, a message from your spirit guide. King of Cups. Oh my gosh, the King of Cups is the master of emotions. He's got his feet on stable ground, but he's a creature of the sea, you know. He can comfortably swim into the depths of his emotions without losing his sure footing. He doesn't drown in his emotions, but he can swim into the depths and sort through them. He's chilling here with the sea turtle, and I don't know what that is, like an eel or something, but he's down there. Maybe it's a barracuda. I'm not too sure. I'm not too hip on my fish, but he's down there like he's with all of these beautiful sea plants, and he's just got this green tinge. I feel like you might need to do some journaling. There is no right or wrong answer. I suggest you set a timer, an audible timer for a solid 20 minutes and just write about anything that comes to your mind. There's no right, no way to feel, just write it down. Whatever comes to mind. I'll leave a link in the description. Let me write that down so I don't forget. I'll leave a link to an article by the VA about journaling and how it helps to reshape our brains and helps us process our past hurts, our past traumas. I feel like your spirit guides wants you to swim, to really swim in these waters and figure out, if there's a way to release this. There may be something that you need to revisit. Card 9, this is your protection, a message of protection to shield you from negativity as you move forward. And your card being in the reverse, this is your own negativity. So here we have Knight of Swords. Oh my goodness, the Knight of Swords rushes in, he charges in, he doesn't hesitate. I feel like this is, and the swords being the suit of communication, I feel like this is a message of protection to shield you from rushing in and talking about something negative. You don't need to talk about something negative all the time. Again, I feel like this is saying, like shift your focus, shift your perspective. Again, there's like a little moon in this card. Like he's pointing the way to the moon. What card was that? That was 7. How to get more sweetness out of life. Yes, this memory, these emotions. And these 2 moons are, they're bordering this King of Cups card. So yeah, definitely some journaling. This is a mysterious message. This is a message from the spirit world offering insight and wisdom. You may not understand it yet, but you will further along your journey. This card is Elders. Oh my gosh, she's holding a moon. Card 15. Birthed from seed within the belly of the moon. They are the wise felt touches over our hearts and felt deep within the marrow of our spirit. Let's go to the book and see what this has to say. For card 15. Keywords are compassion and wisdom. Now with that word wisdom, I'm really drawn to the owl and how the owl is a symbol of wisdom. It says, elders are wise. They're the ones who've lived and experienced more ups and downs, twists and turns than the rest of us. Elders were the storytellers and keepers of knowledge. They were the ones we sought when in turmoil and who would hold us as we wept for the unfairness life can bring. They had compassion for us, but also gave sage advice, drawn from their decades of experience. Today, many elders are seen as a burden instead of cherished loved ones who deserve the right to be supported and cared for in their old age. Many elders have not been given the space to share the wise words of their traditions because our modern world moves too fast for their slow wisdom. Yet there are those among us, particularly witches, who still see the wisdom in their old ways. If you hold the Elders card, it is to remind you to have compassion for others and to never disregard someone's wisdom or experience. A Zen saying tells us, you should sit in meditation for 20 minutes a day unless you're too busy. Then you should sit for an hour. This knowledge can be applied to wisdom as well. Often the thing you need most when life is moving so fast is to slow down and see what you've been missing out. In this case, who you've been missing. This card is a call to meet with your elders to see if they have wisdom to share about your ancestors that can help you on your path. So I'm just so drawn to the 20 minutes and how I was saying to sit and journal for 20 minutes. And then the moon, I was immediately drawn to the moon. So I definitely feel like this card is tying in with these three here for sure. Maybe you won't understand what has to come out until you sit and journal. Maybe it's not going to be done in one journal session. Maybe it's going to take you, a week. Maybe it takes you a full month. Maybe it takes you a year. I don't know what your individual situation is, but I definitely feel like journaling should become a part of your regular practice. This last card is parting words. Final words of wisdom and advice your ancestors want you to hear before leaving this reading. Here we have fruit. The keywords are achievement and success. Let's go to the book and see what fruit has to say. So if either numbers 15 or 41 mean anything to you, great. Take it and run with that. That may be an additional message for you. If not, it's just the card number. Fruit is tangible proof of an achievement. When we say something has borne fruit, we mean it has been successful. In this way, the fruit card tells you that all your hard work has yielded a satisfying result, or is about to produce a wonderful result. Be proud of your efforts. Producing something, a project, a hobby, a baby, takes time, energy, and attention. And sometimes work can be invisible to others, happening behind the scenes or internally. The fruit of that labor, however, is proof that energy was invested. Recognize and honor it. Fruit also tells you that you can catch your breath for a bit. Celebrate your success. It has a reflection which says, have you been working too hard on something and need a break? So perhaps you might want to journal on that too. Where do you feel you've been working too hard in your life? What would you like a break in? So pile 5, this concludes your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you soon. Bye for now, gems. Hello, pile 6. If you have selected this dark forest green moss agate or Universal Monsters Tarot, this reading is for you. Okay, let's see what your cards have to say to you today. What does pile 6 need to hear today? What messages do we have for pile 6? don't know if you can hear that. Those are wiener dog ears flapping in the wind. Okay, pile 6, let's begin. Card number 1, this is Witch's Brew. What's brewing around you? Magical forces in play right now. Here we have the 10 of Claws. Oh my gosh, this is the Wolfman, the werewolf. 10 of Claws, that's like the 10 of Swords. So I see an ending around you. This would be an ending that you're probably not expecting. An ending that you don't want to happen. This is not as big as a Tower moment ending, but it is an ending that's out of your control. This is going to be a time of transformation. The Haunting. These would be ghosts from your past, haunting your vibe. Past experiences that are lingering. The Ace of Crypts. Okay, so that would be like the Ace of Cups. Like it could have been a great relationship, but it just wasn't. It didn't pan out in that way. This could have been a first love. This could have been, I could even see this as a child for some of you. Okay, this could be a child who is kind of like a prodigal child. This could be a child who has passed, or a child that you've just had a falling out with. But more than likely, I could see this as a relationship, like a romantic relationship that just didn't work out. The Banishing, how to banish these ghosts. Here we have the 3 of Crypts in the reverse. And I'm really drawn to these numbers on the tombstones. So this would be like the 3 of Cups in the reverse. I'm thinking that you might be able to honor these, and so it doesn't, it's the position is ghost, but it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody who's passed. Okay, but I feel like there's something you could do that could honor this person because you're still thinking about them. If it is somebody who has passed, you might consider doing some sort of memorial or something in their honor, in their memory, that they would have appreciated or that they would have loved, something that would have held meaning to them. For some of you, I could see this as spending some time alone. Normally when the 3 of Cups comes up, the 3 of Crypts in this instance, it usually, when it's talking about like people and third, like relationship type things, which this kind of is, okay, so I could see this as an unwanted third party. I don't really feel like that applies to the situation, so I could see that as unwanted people being around. Like you just want, maybe you just need time alone. You just need to process these feelings that are bubbling up for you. Monsters and goblins. These would be fears and negative habits that are ready to be laid to rest. Page of Candles. The Page of Wands. Again, I'm getting a very childlike vibe, but I can also get young relationship vibe. Young love. I could get young love vibe. For some of you, I'm kind of getting the feeling that you're going after relationships. Please don't take this the wrong way, but like the person is too immature for you, whether that is in age or in personality, emotionally. They're too young. Okay, they haven't developed emotionally, or they're just too young. Like these habits are ready to be laid to rest. And for some of you, where this is coming up as a fear, I could see this as feeling like you're too young, like you're too inexperienced to put yourself out there. Or I could see this as a fear of growing old. The costume. Who do you want to be this next year? Four of Claws in the reverse. This would be like the Four of Swords in the reverse. I feel like you want to be somebody who's rested. You don't want to be somebody who's tired. You don't want to be someone who walks into a room, to a party, to your job, whatever, and people look at you and be like, oh, wow, you look so tired. And you're just standing there like, yeah, I am tired, but like, is that a nice way of saying I look like shit? Or like, what is that even? What was your intention by that? You don't want to be like feeling like you're being forced to lay down because you've got all this stuff to do and you're trying to do it and there's just never enough hours in the day and you're rushing and you're rushing and you're rushing and all of this stress just makes you even more tired. So like you want time out. You want to feel like you've had a good night's sleep. I'm really drawn to the bandages on this mummy, and I feel like you just don't want to feel like you're tied up. You want to be free. Free and rested, not tired. The possession. What drives and inspires you? This is the driving force flowing through your veins. Here we have the Six of Candles in the reverse. So this would be like the Six of Wands in the reverse. Ooh, what drives and inspires you? I feel like this is a loss, failure. I feel like you know what it's like to have lost, you know what it's like to lose, and you never want to feel that way again. I don't necessarily feel like that's a bad thing because you don't know what you have until you've lost. You can't appreciate winning unless you've lost. Then like this is what's at stake. So, okay. This is the candy. How to get more sweetness out of life. Ace of Candles in the reverse. That is interesting. This would be like the Ace of Wands in the reverse. How to get more sweetness out of life. I feel like you don't need another project right now. You don't need to like create anything right now. Like I feel like you have a lot on your plate. That's why you're so tired. That's why you're running around. You're stressed. You're feeling like you're tied up. I feel like this would be taking care of what needs to be done now. I could even see this as using someone else's flame to light your match, to light your candle. Like if there's any way that someone can give you a helping hand, or if there's any way that you can collaborate with somebody, or get somebody to lighten the load, or I don't know. I feel like this would be like even like teamwork, like using someone else's flame to light your own. Very interesting. I've never gotten that from that card before, but I'm getting that very strongly right now. Card 8, this is the Conjuring, a message from your spirit guide. The Fool in the reverse. I feel like this card is saying take caution at what you are creating. Take caution at what you are bringing to life. Does everything that you're creating, everything that you're working on, does it need to be brought to life? Could it cause more harm than good? For you and for others. Card 9, the Protection. A message of protection to shield you from negativity as you move forward. Your card is in the reverse, so this is your own negativity. Here we have the 8 of Castles in the reverse. Okay, to shield you from your own negativity. Oh my gosh, and he's literally locked in a dungeon. He's locked in his own castle. Like when you feel your own negativity starting to rise up, and I'm really drawn to how this Witch's Brew, it was a 10 of claws, but like he's the werewolf, you know, and he can't control it. He gets these urges, these feelings, and they just like come up, you know, and he doesn't want to hurt anybody. So I'm feeling like when you feel that, like, do you need to just like take a step back? Do you need to remove yourself from the situation so you don't just like, you know, hurt people? Even over here with the Fool, you know, like Frankenstein didn't want to hurt people, you know, you just brought to life and things just kind of happened. So the castles are like the pentacles. So this would be like the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. So like it's not just like other people, other situations that make you feel negative. Like these are of your own, like it's of your own creation. Or does it happen when you're at work? Is work frustrating and it brings out the side of you that you'd rather keep hidden? Like this is a mysterious message. A message from the spirit world offering insight and wisdom. You may not yet understand it, but it will make sense further along the journey. Here we have protection. Card 29, it says, "This is my house, stained by the very blood flowing through its walls, covered in a veil of delicious prayers, yet deadly to those who dare lift its hidden." So let's go to the book and see what this has to say. 29, protection. Okay, keywords are safety and hidden. Many of us have had to search out our own safety since beginning our journeys as spiritual healers, students, and teachers. We've faced criticism for being witches, faced jealousy for being true to our paths, and had to withstand attacks from our own egos. But we rise and keep going with fearless determination. We know we have our spiritual team, our ancestors, guides, and angels to support us and keep us from harm. You are always protected, my dearest witch, no matter how scary the world may seem or how many things go bump in the dark night of your soul. Within you is a space that cannot be harmed, penetrated, or shaken. Here you can retreat to heal and find comfort. You need only step through the veil into the arms of those who love and care for you. If you have drawn protection, known that all is well and you are safe, your spiritual support team will protect you from harm. You are protected from hexes, evil eyes, danger, psychic attacks. You are even protected from the dangers of your earth-based ego. Know that you can handle anything. When you are feeling unsafe, speak to the powers that be. Ask them to guide you where you do not have eyes and to keep you safe when you are in harm's way. They are always walking with you and are ready to provide you with additional support whenever you feel the need to ask. Okay, I love that. So I don't know if you feel like that now or if you may feel like that more down the road. But when you feel afraid, when you feel like you need divine protection, remember you can reach out and ask for it. These are parting words, final words of wisdom and advice your ancestors want you to hear before leaving this reading. Here we have Hearth. I love this card coming after this one, and these ones right here, you know, it's safety, comfort, and spiritual connection. It just looks like such a safe, warm place to come home to. It says the hearth is the spiritual heart of your home, symbolizing the presence of spirit. A physical hearth provides light, warmth, and a way to prepare nourishment. The spiritual hearth represents the spiritual nature of the home, the essence of what makes it a place of rest, rejuvenation, and comfort. The location of the spiritual hearth is unimportant, as is whatever you might use to recognize as its physical representation. It may be a feeling, a meditation, a blanket. Hearth also symbolizes connection with those you consider family, as well as spirit. This card suggests that you look to those relationships and do what is necessary to reinforce them. Renew your connection to your hearth to keep the communication with spirit in your home vibrant. This card has a reflection which says, in what way does your connection to spirit need attention? So pile 6, you might want to journal on that. Maybe get a pencil or pen and just sit and journal on that for about 20 minutes. No right or wrong answers, just writing whatever comes to mind without stopping. I will leave a link to an article from the VA on journaling. So pile 6, this does conclude your reading. I hope it makes sense. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for hanging out with me. Bye for now, gems.